Hey guys, so quick one. A lot of people have been asking me what it feels like living in Africa, especially for African Americans that are planning to come to Africa, right? And I feel like I should do a video for you guys, telling you guys what it feels like to live in Africa. So I'm currently going to the market to get some stuff, and I feel like this is even like going to be the best time to show you what it feels like living in Africa. Now you can see my background. This is the environment where I live, and yes, we actually live in houses here in Africa because a lot of people feel like we live on trees. I don't know where that concept came from, right? But there are actual places, right? Actual houses, actual buildings, right? You can see very good quality buildings. So there are pros and there are cons of living in Africa, which I'm also going to be walking you through as I'm moving to the market, as I'm going to the market, right? For the pros, first one is there is no racism in Africa. There is nothing like you are black, there is nothing like you are white, because of course the more population of people in Africa are black, so you cannot tease somebody for being black here because you are also black. So there is nothing like you are black or someone else is white. So if you are here in Africa, people would likely not even know you are not an African, or except probably when you speak, because of course your tonation, your tongue and everything is going to sound different. Okay. Then another thing is, things in Africa are quite cheap. There is noise, but you guys, pardon me, things in Africa are quite cheap, right? Cost of housing, cost of living. For cost of renting a house, depending on the kind of apartment that you are looking for in Africa, you can actually get for some African countries that actually pay per month, you can get from around $200 to up to $500, $1,000, depending on the quality of the house, the type of apartment, the location of the apartment. And yeah, we have towns, okay? We have cities, we have big cities, we have smaller cities, we have towns, we have villages. So depending on where you decide to go and live is going to determine the cost of your apartment, okay? And for countries like mine where we pay yearly, you can actually see an apartment for $500 for throughout the year, because of course, yeah, we pay yearly. You can see an apartment, beautiful apartment, for $500 and above, okay, depending on the size of the apartment, where the apartment is located, and all of that. So another thing about Africa is our food. It's quite different from what you guys know in the western part of the world, right? We have our native food. Oh my god, this thing that is making this noise is called transplant. We are going to see it now. So, can you see them? They use it to carry loads. I hope you can really see it. It's used for carrying loads if you don't have strength to carry. Okay, so I decided to just do a voiceover because the noise was really too much. But I feel like this is going to be better. So this is another type of transport system we have in Africa. This is the tricycle also, though it's different from the one I showed you earlier. I'm just in a vehicle going to the market, and in Africa, we basically sometimes don't go, or most times don't even go to the bank to withdraw, because it can be a stressful process to withdraw your money. Yes, so we do this, and it's called POS, point of service. It's supposed to be a situation where you want to pay for something in a mall, or in a supermarket with your credit card, but in Africa, and depending on the African country you are, that is going to be your major point or way of withdrawing your money, right? So also in Africa, cost of food is actually cheap, because
The food that we eat in Africa are grown here in Africa, so it's basically cheap. You can see that, especially if you are living in like rural areas where almost everybody are farmers, there is going to be a lot of food items available, so the price is definitely going to crash, making it very, very cheap. Although now that inflation is actually on the rise, things are becoming a bit expensive. So in Africa, depending on the African country that you are, because every African country comes with its own diversity. So depending on the African country that you are, you can spend from like $200 to $300 per month on food items, depending on the kind of food that you eat and depending on the African country that you are, like I said. So this is another pro of living in Africa. Cost of living is quite cheap. I'm going to really dive into the negatives of living in Africa because I feel like there are a lot of pros, but then we'll come back to it. Let me just tell you the cons. Number one con of living in Africa is limited opportunities. Here in Africa, there are no big opportunities, right? That opportunities are not really um plenty or much. So most individuals struggle a lot to find opportunities. Even when you find somebody, let's say for example you are a graduate and after leaving the university, getting a job is a big problem because here in Africa, if you don't have connections to people who know somebody that is, having the connection to that job, you may not get it. This is sad, but it's the truth. People don't really get what they are qualified for in Africa here, and that is why you see most Africans trying to leave Africa to other places where they can actually get what they deserve or what they are qualified for, like maybe getting a job or getting quality education, which is another point on the cons. um Level of education or the quality of education, you can only get the best when you have good money. If you don't have good money, generally living in Africa can be frustrating because you will not be able to get the basic things of life. Okay, getting a good apartment is expensive, going to good schools are expensive, getting quality healthcare is expensive, because you have to patronize the private sectors in all of these things because the public sector is nothing to definitely write home about. Governments don't really care about what the people go through or what they need. They just stack these monies for themselves. Not like there is no money, okay, but that is the sad truth, and that is why you see a lot of young Africans going out of Africa to other nations where their hard work, where their values will be known and accepted, and meet with good returns, right? And that is why you see a lot of Africans trying to strive for themselves, because if you don't do it, the government won't do it for you. So another thing you want to consider before coming to Africa is the weather. The weather can be very, very hot. Like during the year, you have mostly hot weathers. Okay, depending on the African country, though, there are some that has more rains, where you have a lot of rains throughout the year, and there are some that have more sun, which is going to turn out to be more hot weathers during the year, right? And then snow here and there for I think South Africa also country. So you have to do your research for that and to know the kind of country and the kind of weather that you can really adapt to for you to be able to pick the country that you want to come to Africa. I am going to give you a basic tip or some tip in case you're looking at coming to Africa as an African American or whatever part of the world you are coming from. First of all, do a research because every African country has its own diversities, what they believe, their culture, and how their standard is. Another thing you want to do is to come with a lot of money because in Africa, money is king, money answers to everything. If you have money, you really need, you will really be able to get what you want and also have a lot of money when you are coming. And then be security conscious, be guarded, because everybody just wants something for themselves, right? Because of the harshness of the environment, everybody just wants to make it, everybody wants to, have something for themselves. So you want to be security conscious so you don't lose any of your stores. Okay, and then know the area that you are going to live, or the city or the state or the country that you are going to live, so that you can be sure of your safety, your security of your luggages or anything at all. And then make sure you have contact with people, genuine people that are already in Africa, right? Maybe your friends or a family relative or somebody that is connected and deeply rooted in Africa, that can actually show you around and lead you or tell you what and what to do, where to go, where not to go. Because just like every other part of the world, there are places in Africa that are not safe, right? And if you want me to do a video for you about that, please let me know in the comment section. Maybe to give you a thing or two about what it feels like living in Africa. If you have any question or you want to do any video for you, please leave it in the comment section. Do not forget to like this video. Okay, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and let me know your thoughts about this video in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.